Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to research YouTube keywords. This is my good friend Marcella. We filmed an episode previously and we kind of got into these topics of how you could rank on YouTube. She started to ask me like, how do you do that? I know the way to do it. Most YouTubers or most people who teach YouTube SEO do this totally wrong. So you definitely want to watch this episode. You've learned some things about SEO. Tell me what you've learned.
Yeah, so I had a shop on Etsy, and when you went to Etsy, you couldn't find me anywhere. So I paid for a little e-course, and they taught how to kind of optimize that where you are in Etsy with keywords. And that was the first experience I had with keywords. And while I was on this little 15-minute course, I went from I don't know where on Etsy to the front page. So
awesome.
I feel like I understand the value of
That's really cool.
keywords because just in that 15 minutes it bumped up my shop. So I'm excited to learn more about
Very
this.
cool. So
yeah.
Definitely the person who taught you that new SEO for
Right.
Etsy. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I have to admit, I've done lots of searching for YouTube SEO and nobody's doing it the way that I'm teaching. There's one guy out there that's getting some results, but I think he's doing a little bit by accident. So anyway, what I'm gonna share with you is totally awesome. I want to start out with an analogy of a tree.
Okay.
Because if you understand this, it just makes it really simple. So there's no overwhelm or confusion. It's just really simple. So with this tree, we've got a really broad trunk. It goes out to branches. It goes out to leaves. Okay, the leaves are the specific video topics that we want compared to the really broad topics. An example would be goal setting. Let's say you wanted to make a lot of videos on setting goals. A title that you would not get results from is something like Goal Setting Tips by Marcella. Something
Right.
like that's just really broad. You could write a whole book on goal setting. But what we want to do in a video is we want to go out to the branch and then out to the leaves. We want the title of our video to be a leaf topic that's really, really specific. So for example, how to make a vision board that really works. So I don't know if you know about vision boards or whatnot.
Yes, I do.
But if somebody goes to YouTube or Google and they type in this question, how to make a vision board that really works, and then they find your video, they're going to watch the whole thing because they found exactly what they're searching for. You're
Right.
talking about how do you make it so that you're actually going to get results from it. Or another example of a leaf, how to set exercise goals on an Apple Watch. So I didn't make up these phrases here. These are actually phrases we did keyword research and we found that people are actually searching for online, and that's the key. So we do that research first, we find these titles. Here's another one, how to set financial goals for a business. Now there might even be other leaves that are more specific than this one. I would want to do some searching though, like how to set financial goals for a scrunchie business,
Right.
or how to set financial goals for a hair salon or for a law firm.
And to be able to, when you're saying like do the research, do you just physically type this into the search bar on YouTube and just see what comes up?
So what that does is it tells you if there's competition.
Right.
But I'm going to show you a tool that will actually help you find what are the questions people are asking. Okay? I just want to show you a couple more examples to really cement this in, because understanding this little thing, this little piece, will transform the results that you get on YouTube. So this is Chris, the guy that I've mentioned, does real estate investing training.
Right.
And I want to show you some examples of leaf topic videos that we've done for him. So hundreds of videos are all leaf topics on his channel. How to turn $10 into $100. How to make money work for you. How to earn respect and be taken seriously. And our best performing video, how to invest your money in your 20s. So these are all questions that we searched and found before we filmed.
Okay.
And I'll just give you one more example. This is Paul Jenkins. He makes videos on parenting and on relationships, on positivity. So here's some examples of leaf topic videos. How to get kids to study. How to get kids to sleep. How to talk to kids so they listen. And the best performing video on that channel that we've done, how to get kids to listen without yelling. So they're all leaf topics. Again, we did the research to find those first. So the key is just to always think about this tree and picking the leaves whenever you're wanting to make a video for YouTube. Okay. So back to your other question that you had earlier about ideas and what you're doing on Facebook. That's great, and keep doing that on Facebook, because Facebook videos like that will do really well, and there's a higher likelihood that Your video can go viral because people will share it. There's not really a community on YouTube to share. You have to post it somewhere else.
Okay.
But on YouTube, it's really important to do the keyword research first, because then your video will be shown to people who've never heard of you before but are searching for your expertise.
I see. Okay.
So now I'm going to show you the tool that I use to find these leaf topics. The website is called SEMrush, and the tool is called the Keyword Magic Tool. I used to go through multiple steps using multiple different tools, but then at a conference, this company had a booth, and I talked to them and said, okay, is there anything that can simplify my process? They showed me this tool. It was currently in beta, and it changed my world. It made it really simple. So I'll show you an example, then we'll actually dive in and do some stuff for you.
Before you go into that, is this something that do you pay to get this? Do you have to have an
I
account
do
with
pay
them?
$100 a month,
Okay.
but they have a 2-week free trial.
Okay.
And if you're just wanting to experiment with this, I recommend signing up for their trial, and then you could get hundreds of topics that would last you for a year, and then not have to sign up for their paid account. But then if you're gonna do this, then it would be $100 a month.
Okay.
Or I can help you and use my account.
Perfect.
All right, so my client Katie, and good friend, she's an interior designer, and we were thinking about the tree of interior design. We thought a branch was living room design. So, because what we're good at in our minds is we can easily come up with the trunk or the branches for topics, and I let the tool find the leaves. Okay? So first, when you go to the tool, you hit search, and it will come up with results. Now these are typical results that you'll see in all keyword research tools. But the magic of this tool, I think, is this button right here that says questions.
Oh, wow.
Because when you hit that, these results change. Now they're all the questions that people are asking about living room design. That's what makes this so amazing.
I was gonna say, it looked kind of similar to keyword searches I've seen before, but when you click on the questions, that's a totally different thing.
And this is giving you ideas of what the title of your video could be. So Katie and I, we looked through this list, there's hundreds of them, and we just picked out 7 of them really quick that we thought would make great separate episodes. So we could make one, how to design a living room with high ceilings. That's a question. It's getting 70 searches per month. And one thing that I want to emphasize is to not go after high numbers. Higher the number usually means higher the competition. Okay. And my goal for you is when you post a video on YouTube to have it rank on YouTube day 1. And as long as this number, this is telling you how many searches there are per month for this phrase, as long as it's 10 or above, I say that's an awesome, awesome phrase.
Yeah, because you always think like bigger numbers, but not. Okay.
But even if you just get, a trickle of people coming in, they watch your video, they've watched a lot of your video because it's really relevant to them. YouTube will see, oh, this video is performing well. We're going to boost their channel. We're going to boost this video and show it to more and more people. Okay, another example that we found, how to design a living room with a corner fireplace. How to design a living room with large windows. How to design lighting for a living room. How to design a living room with TV. How to design a kitchen living room combo. And how to design a living room wall. So another thing that I like to point out here is Katie probably could have come up with 1 or 2 living room design videos on her own, but just doing the keyword research, and we just picked 7. We could have picked more. We now have a whole list of videos that we can make. And the great thing is, if you make leaf after leaf after leaf after leaf, eventually you're going to dominate YouTube for that entire tree. Like, I mean, we're talking hundreds of videos, but like with the real estate example, we've actually never made a video about real estate investing. But he ranks all over the place for real estate investing now because we've created hundreds and hundreds of leafs in real estate investing.
So now, like this client, she goes and makes a video for each topic. Is that, okay.
Yeah. So these 7 right here were videos that
which, like you said, she wouldn't have thought of before.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so now let's dive in to the tool for you. All right. What would be a good branch that you'd want to be found for? Something that you'd want people to find your YouTube videos for.
Oh, wow. Which way do I go? I think finding joy out of trials.
Okay, so let's just type in joy, and then I'll hit questions once it loads. So let's see what questions people are asking about joy. Interesting.
Joy is a name.
Yeah, it's a name. what if we put in happiness?
Yeah.
I mean, we could dig deeper
happiness
but
is
for the
probably
sake of
a little
this.
better.
So questions is already opted or selected. So, I mean, how to be happy. You see how big that is, though?
Right. 50,000.
So we can add in additional things here. We can put in trials. So we can find more of the leaves. Let's see. Or challenge. Let me put in challenge. Let's see. All right, I'm not liking the results I get here. Let's see how to find. Let me just change it to happy. Let me say. Let's see. Like I'm thinking like. Oh, real specific would be like. Let's see. No, let's see. These are still pretty high. I'm going to help it out. I'm going to type in another word. I'm going to type in how. Okay, how to be happy again after a death. So that's pretty specific.
Yeah.
So you can just experiment and like, how are people searching for something like that? How to make someone happy after a death. So this is personally, how can I be happy again after I've lost, and I might, the way that I would phrase it is after I've lost a loved one, or after I've lost a child or a spouse or a grandparent. So there's lots of different ways you can search, but just finding like, oh, that's for me. And then another one down here was, how to make someone happy after a death, or pretty cool.
Well, and then you could add in like all the other questions, death or divorce or...
Yeah, so exactly. We just come up here, remove that word death, type in divorce.
How to have a happy divorce.
So right at the top, how to be happy after divorce. How to be happy alone after divorce. How to break up a happy divorce. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. How to make yourself happy. So anyway, a lot of good examples there. So is that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I recommend you do is in your mind, you do in your mind and write it down on paper. Do a topic brainstorm, and perhaps try and think of different leaf topics that you could film about. But that's challenging. Don't stress. Just write down all the branches that you can think about. And when I've done that with clients, sometimes we've done 50, sometimes we've thought of 100 different ideas. But then when we put those ideas into this tool, it gives us hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different leaf ideas that we know will get us results. And so then we've got months and months worth of topics that we can film about. Okay, so Marcella wanted to do one more example. So let's type in power. Let's just see what comes up. Power of vulnerability. Okay, so we've got just one question here on what is the power of vulnerability, but it's a good one. Mm-hmm. So they're right there. What is the power of vulnerability? Now let's get rid of so I would write that down. Okay. I would copy and paste it into a spreadsheet, so you have that one. And let's just see what other questions people are asking about vulnerability. Okay, this one's huge.
Oh, wow.
What does vulnerable mean? Let's just scroll down here. Let's see.
Like how to express vulnerability.
How does a man show vulnerability? Maybe.
I don't know that.
I don't want to do that one. How to appear vulnerable to a man. I don't know. I don't think you want to do that. That's not what we're talking about. And we don't want to do this one. How to find vulnerability in a website. That's like if you're a hacker.
Yeah, these are interesting.
All right, so I'm gonna put in some filters like benefit. Or after this, I'll search for the word why. Nope, that one didn't work. So maybe.
With an E.
And let me actually get rid of. Did I spell it wrong?
Just the benefit with an E.
I'll change it to vulnerable. ABLE. So let's try it again. BENEFIT. Did I spell it right then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nothing for that. Let's try Y. So this is a lot about, for hackers at the beginning there, vulnerability in a computer. Why are elderly people vulnerable?
That's like not talked about. That's what's interesting.
So there's obviously a lot here, and so you need to comb through and find which ones really resonate with your message. And
Right.
you'll find some in there. You'll find
Yeah.
you'll find a lot actually. But it's great to have a tool like this where you can kind of try and narrow it down. If we got rid of the word why, I mean there's thousands of them, and if you comb through them, you'll definitely find dozens.
But I can definitely see how it gives you, you know, I might be talking on this really broad subject, and then it gives you ideas for content, you know, that's going to resonate with a very specific person.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually going to show you one other resource that if you're stuck, before coming here, go to a website called Quora. This is a question and answer website that's gaining a lot of traction. And if we type in vulnerability, we'll find what questions are people, did I spell that right? So look at this. How can I overcome the fear of being vulnerable? So it's like, the
that's
fear.
right.
And so we then come in here to the keyword magic tool, and let's just type in, wait for that to load, and I'll type in fear.
you get other ideas to throw back in here.
Yeah. Okay, and these ones don't say that they have any search volume. But
Nobody wants to be vulnerable.
anyway, no one wants to be vulnerable, so that's a lousy topic, I guess.
0.
So, does that help?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you found this video helpful, and I'd like to give you a gift of my keyword research guide. I go step by step of exactly how to do this, and it's a reference that anytime people ask me questions, I go in and I update it, so you'll have access to the link that gets updated. You access it again in 2 more months, it'll be updated with even more. To get this for free, text this phrase, HERO1, to this number, 415-528-7403, and hope you enjoy that, and we'll see you tomorrow.